All right, we're out here at Hickory Motor Speedway for the Koma Unwind Southern Modified Madness Tour. We've got some really cool drivers out here. Zac Brewer, Jason and Burt Myers, Jeremy Mayfield, just to name a few. These modifieds are awesome. They've got tons of horsepower, huge tires, and they're going to put on a heck of a show. So we're going to walk around and talk to some of the drivers and Brian Weber from Koma Unwind exclusively on 3 Wide Life. All right, Ryan, I was just asking you the rules to this deal, and you don't know because this is your first time doing it. Obviously, you've run a ton of modifieds. Why'd you come out to this Koma Unwind deal, and what's your experience been so far?
I mean, it's been a good experience so far. I've kind of been blind just because I've never been here before, and I've never run with the Koma cars, so we're having some fun. Eddie, you know, when I first got with him, this is my first year with this team, and you know, when I first got with him, he wanted to do a lot of racing, so that's what we're going to be doing. We've only really lost 2 races together as a team in the, I think it's 8 or 9, I think it's 7 or 8 races we've been together. So we've been pretty fortunate to have, obviously, everything Eddie gives us, Tommy, my crew chief, and the entire TS Haulers crew. Just having fun, getting laps. I'm full-time on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. I run weekly stuff, but, you know, whenever we're available to come on down here and run with them, and anytime I can, I'm going to do it. So I like cars to be free. I like them loose, and this car, it's really solid for me, and it rolls the corner like I want it to. So, I mean, for me, it's like it was molded around me, but for everybody else, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy I was one of the first ones to get it and to be showcasing what it can do. And obviously, I got to thank TS Haulers, East West Marine, and Calverton Tree Farm. You see, when you get a new car, you got to learn sponsors like that. So, and Race Electronics.
Now, you've run a bunch of different type race cars. What makes these modified such a good show? Because they always put on an awesome performance.
You know what? It's more in the driver's hands. I feel, you know, you get a good base, you have a good car, and then a driver can burn it up like I usually do, or you can try to be smart and keep it for the end. So, you know, this race, I think I'm going to try and be smart.
What lap do you think you're going to turn it on, trying to keep the right rear underneath the car?
Probably around lap 100, around lap, maybe even later. I mean, this place just seems really aggressive on these Hoosier tires, and you know, I really don't know. I guess you're all going to find out.
Here with Jeremy Mayfield, and for those of you who don't know, he's run some cup races, but you also ran this modified deal last year. So, first of all, tell me what your plan is. Are you going to run as many as you can, or what's the deal for this year?
Well, we want to run the whole series. You know, it's a great series, and had a lot of fun last year doing it. You know, it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of fun coming back and racing again, you know, and I really enjoy running the modifieds. I wish I knew then what I know now about them. I've been racing them a long time ago, you know, so it's just a lot of fun to be here tonight at the short tracks to see everything going on, and so I definitely want to run the whole series, but you know, that all has to do with sponsorship money too, so we'll see what happens. But right now we got our plans to run the whole series.
It's interesting, guys like you, Kenny Wallace, Ron Hornaday, David Stremme, that got out of the stock car stuff, and now you're running modifieds and talking about how fun it is. What makes these so much fun? I mean, why are they such a kick to drive?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that it's just short track racing again, and it's competitive, you know, and it's, I think we just all had to be in modifieds, you know, and they're not that expensive to run. They're not like a super late model run like that. So I think that's the biggest part, you know, and we can come here and laugh and smile and make decisions on our cars, you know, and we can figure out what we need to do, and we don't have to ask anybody, you know. It's not like the cup deal where it's all political and you can't say anything and you got to, you know, shove everything underneath the rug. We come here and race and have fun and just give the car what it wants, you know, and put on a good show and just have fun with it.
I've heard from a couple drivers, they feel like the driver makes more of an impact in these. Do you feel that same way?
Definitely. You know, I mean, it all goes back a lot to the driver, but it works out good for these cars just because tonight you'll see the track will get real slick, you know, and everybody be sliding around and they'll be driving the wheels off of them. It's going to be a great show. It always is, and so I mean, it's definitely a lot of drivers' input, you know, really affects it, and a lot of it's strategy too. You know, like I should have won 5 or 6 of these things last year, and I pit it wrong, or we come in at the wrong time, or you know, didn't do the right thing on the strategy. So it's really a lot involved to win one of these. It's pretty hard.
Now, your number is unique, and it goes along with your whole campaign. You know, you're making a comeback. Just tell me real quick about that.
Yeah, we just went with J2. You know, it's kind of my second time by here, so we're going to starting over. You know, here we are running at the local short tracks, and you know, going to try to work our way back up somewhere. I'm not sure where yet. You know, not sure where I want to go yet. How high I do want to go again, but yeah, I want to come back racing. You know, and I feel like that this is Jeremy's second time around, and I'm gonna have fun doing what I love to do. And if it gets to where it's political again, and you know, a lot of stuff's out of my control, then I'll stop racing. But until then, I'm gonna keep running and doing what I love to do.
After a couple years of not having as much fun, are you back having fun now?
Man, I've been having a lot of fun. It's probably, I'm not gonna say the happiest, but I'm pretty happy right now. You know, just you know, the Cup deal is a great deal. It's a great series. I love racing the Cup cars. You know, just so much pressure as far as just everything you look at. You know, just pressure all around you, and it's just you become somebody that you don't want to be. You know what I mean? And you become miserable, and that's why you see a lot of the drivers nowadays. They're not as fan friendly as they used to be. You know, and you know, earlier. I don't know if you've seen Donnie Allison here. Did you see Donnie? Yeah. And me and him was talking about it, and it's just, you know, good to see him here too. But it's just not what it used to be, you know. And a lot of people are just not happy in the sport for whatever reason. But you know, I'm still happy with what we got going on.
Well, good luck tonight. I hope you can go pull off a win, and no pressure. It sounds like either way.
It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully we can do it the rest of the year and see you guys more.
Burt Myers, you're reigning champion of this series, and you run a ton of modifieds. You've won a lot. What makes this Koma Unwind series cool?
There's not really one specific thing. It's just a lot of different unique things. The all green flag laps with the pit stop with the right rear tire, and there's a couple of different rule changes, but I mean, it's just another tour that a modified racer wants to go race on.
Now, you are a modified racer, and we've been asking all the drivers tonight, what makes modified so cool? Because they put on such a great show.
Well, I've been doing it for so long. It's all I've really ever known is the modifieds. I've had an opportunity to drive some late model stocks. I've driven the Camping World Series truck race. Just the horsepower to weight ratio, the wide tires, the open tires, they're just so agile. It's just, there's nothing like them. It's awesome stuff. It really is.
Real quick, what's the strategy for tonight?
It's hard to say. You know, you can make a plan right now, but it's hard to stick to that. When the green flag falls, that's when I make my plan.
And I saw you over there on iRacing. Looks like you might need to do a little bit of practice on that.
Yeah, I tell you, I told him it shows my age. I need a joystick instead of the steering wheel, but I drive by the seat of my pants, and it's hard to do with the iRacing stuff. But it was really neat to be able to do that, and you know, some fans will get to say they beat me, so that's cool, right?
Here with Zac Brewer. Now, Zac, you've driven a ton of different race cars. Tell me about these modifieds. What makes these so special?
Man, they just got tons of horsepower. They're like giant go-karts with huge engines, and it's just how much you can get it down and you know, get it pointed straight and hold on.
When you watch these, it's not very obvious if they're loose or they're tight or they're moving around. Can you feel a lot in the race car when they move around?
Yeah, they move around a whole lot. You know, it's kind of how you take care of your tires. You know, the longer you run, the looser it's going to get. So it's just all about maintaining and saving what you got for the right time. You know, here you'll have some people that's going to go out that might not lead a whole lot of laps in the beginning, and they're going to run hammer down and go out and leave them some laps, and then you'll slowly see the guys that will be around the end cresting back up there. About lap 100, you'll probably see some people start turning the wick up. That's kind of our game plan.
So your game plan, you're going to try to save the right rear and then go for it in the end?
Yeah, I'm going to try to save it. I've got a couple of cars I'm going to try to stay with and mimic what they do and kind of, you know, put myself in the right situation where they're at the end of the race. If I can be with them, I feel like we'll have a shot.
Now, you ran almost the entire season last year. What makes this Koma deal so much fun? I mean, the car counts are high and a lot of guys in the grandstands.
I enjoyed the laid back of it compared to NASCAR. It's not all so business and so political and stuff. It's kind of old school, you know what I mean? It's kind of back to your roots. You got a few rules, and you know, they do their best to text some stuff, but I'd like to see them do a little bit more on that end. But it's just not all the political crap that you got to deal with. To me, this is one of the few cars still left that the driver can change his line, change what he does to make it better. You know, in your top 3 tiers of the NASCAR now, you go out and what you got is what you got. You know, it's going to either plow or be a little loose, and you're going to fade. Here, you can still, the cream will rise to the top, you know what I mean? And you'll have the guys that know how to adjust their race car with a pit stop or save and maintain where, like I said, you got what you need at the end. And a lot of cars are so aero-dependent with these being open wheel, and they're not that. You don't have a lot of the bump stop, coil binding. You have a lot of the old-fashioned stuff. You got more power than you do anything, so you don't need all of it, so it's all in what you can get down to the ground, you know what I mean? So it's a good deal. It really is.
You've made one major change to your team this year. You had your first child. Are you going to approach racing a little bit different?
I just want her to know what it means to me and how long I've been in it and that Dad does that. It's just something, you know, racing to me is in kind of trouble. You know, you don't have a lot. I want her to have the enjoy it and know what it meant to me to do it and just how big the sport was and kind of still is. But I just want her to know what it meant to her dad.
Well, you've been doing it a while, and hopefully you can take a trophy home to her tonight.
I hope so. She's not got to come to one yet. Mama won't let me bring her yet, but she's got some trophies in her room.
Bill, tell me about these cars. I mean, they're so different from anything that you see. Huge tires that hang out. I guess you'd consider them an open wheel car. Huge horsepower, and they put on a heck of a show. So what's different about these cars?
What makes racing so good is that the fact that they are open wheel, so the guys give each other a little bit of respect. But the other thing is they're a lightweight car, relatively speaking. They're 2,600 pound race cars with a lot of rubber on them, pretty good horsepower, center of gravity is really low. You know, they do put on really good racing. Typically when we go up against other classes, you know, a multi-class show, the modifieds really shine.
You know, when you look at these cars with tons of horsepower and tons of bite, and you think about everything that NASCAR is doing to make their show better, which is take all of that away, why did these put on such a good show? I mean, I went to my first race last year at Ace, and I couldn't believe the amount of passing and the strategy, and they packed the grandstands.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they have downforce, but they're pretty dirty air, you know, because you got so much rubber exposed. You don't have a lot of downforce on the body on the front. So, you know, they're a little bit on the dirty side aerodynamically. But again, the center of gravity being low, so much tire, and it's one of them cars that for a while, until the tires go away, the harder you run them, the quicker you go. Now, today's going to be more of a finesse race. This place is really aggressive on tires, so it'll be a little bit different racing strategy today. But and the guys that, you know, the guys that drive these things, you know, they have a lot of fun out there.
Why are they becoming more popular every year?
I don't know. I think one thing is the guys, you know, guys from other classes that get into the modifieds, they have a riot racing them, you know. And in all the different tiers of NASCAR, it's not cheap to race a NASCAR style modified, but relatively speaking, compared to the other classes, it's way more affordable. So I think you know, you can do it on more of a part-time basis. You can run a variety of racetracks, and the crew and drivers really enjoy the heck out of it, to be honest with you.
What do you like about this series?
Honestly, it's pretty new to me. You know, I'm from upstate New York, and I go to about 90 races a year, and admittedly, the last few years, a lot of it's been the dirt modified stuff. This is actually my first Koma race right here today, so it seems a little bit more laid back from what I see. Maybe not as stringent on the rules. Not saying they're letting things go, but they don't quite have such a long, drawn-out inspection process. I think the teams might like that. You know, NASCAR does a great job making sure everybody's on a level playing field, but I don't know if everybody enjoys what they have to go through for that.
I could read between the lines. Well, thank you so much, and good luck to your cars tonight.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Good talking to you.
All right, we're here with Gary Putnam, and Gary is a driver, but he also has been a crew chief in NASCAR Nationwide, NASCAR Cup Series. Putting on your helmet tonight, tell me about the transition going away from, you know, working on the race cars and making them fast to working on them and also driving them.
It's been great. It's helped me tremendously as a driver. I'm able to get up to speed quicker because I'm able to judge off of what the car is doing quicker and know how to fix it.
Being a guy who's crew chiefed a long time, is that kind of an advantage with your background?
It helps a little bit. When I first started, I used to do that an awful lot. And I've come to realize here in the last couple of years, the more I race, the more you really have to concentrate on driving. And you really need to lean on the people you bring with you to help you and just be able to fix the car for what it's doing and try not to fix it from the seat.
So why modifieds? Why not late models or playing around in the dirt? What is it about the Koma series that you like?
Well, I grew up in the Northeast, so I grew up around these. So I was always a big fan. This was my love of racing. This is why I got involved in racing. So when I finally come down here and had the opportunity to actually go modified racing, you know, the Koma series and of course the NASCAR Southern series has, you know, been great.
If the car's not turning, are you going to yell at your crew chief?
No, I usually yell at myself because, I mean, ultimately it's still up to you.
Well, good luck tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here with Brian Weber, and Brian, you've been involved in NASCAR for a long time. You've driven, you've owned cars, you've sponsored race cars, and now you're involved in the Southern Modified deal. Tell me about this.
Well, I moved to the South in the early 90s to follow my dreams in racing in the NASCAR series. I did some NASCAR Nationwide Series racing in 2001, 2, and 3. And then about 2007, I decided I was looking for another career path. I started an energy drink, which didn't do very well. But it did lead me down a path to find this product. The racing is something that's always been in my blood, and I'm trying to give it back, but at the same pace, I'm trying to get my drinks in hands across the Southeast in the United States.
Why stay with racing? What makes sense with racing in Koma?
This is an opportunity. You know, our drivers, 20 drivers, have 2,000 followers on Facebook. You know, adds up to thousands of people. But here in the Southeast, in the Carolinas, this is our hook.
Tell me about this Southern Modified deal and what makes it different from other modified racing in the area.
Well, we have 125 laps green flag, and we have to have a pit stop during the event one time. You don't have to buy a lot of tires to be here. You can actually literally buy 3 tires new. We pay more than the other guys, almost $1,000 more. We pay lap leader money every lap that someone's led. We also have flying starts where our cars come to the green flag at full speed. And again, we're trying to build a family-friendly environment. We have bounce houses for our kids, and we're trying to build a solid foundation for the next generation of race fans.
You mentioned the simulator, I beat Burt Myers. Does that mean I should race these?
I don't think Burt liked that much, but I think it was a lot of fun for Burt to go down there, Ryan Preece and yourself included. My brother never sat in a race car in his life. I think he beat Burt Myers, but you know, behind the wheel of a real race car, Burt Myers is awesome. Great competitor, great fans. He brings a lot of personality to a Koma Unwind Modified Madness series.
Personality for sure. Well, Brian, you've done a lot for racing, and we want to thank you for not only what you've done, but what you're going to do and continuing to give back to motorsports. So good luck tonight, and thanks for everything you do.
You know, we just keep moving forward, and that's what we're doing.
We're all moving crazy out here, doing a million things each day, so when it's time to unwind, it's Koma Unwind to relax. That's it for the Koma Unwind Southern Modified Tour from Hickory Motor Speedway. They had over 20 cars. They put on a phenomenal show. Burt Myers got the win with a new right rear tire. They didn't change left sides, which everybody else did, but they came in and made the adjustment, and that showed to be the winning move. Awesome racing here. Koma spends a lot of money and a lot of time putting this stuff on, and a packed house at Hickory Motor Speedway. We're going to bring you more of these races. We're going to bring you more of these drivers exclusively. 3 Wide Life.